Hello, I'm Deanna Herron, host of the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. Have you ever wanted to do something bold, like start a business, write a book, or go for your dream job? This show was created for women just like you who want to be bold, shine bright with grace. My goal is to educate you, inspire you, and empower you with ideas that can transform your life. Be inspired by the Deanna Herron Podcast Show at deannaherron.net. Hello, gorgeous, and welcome back. This is Deanna Herron, your host of the Deanna Herron Podcast Show. So grateful to be with you today, and so grateful for you as an active participant in this podcast. And I just want you to know how much I love and appreciate you being a part of this amazing community. So last week's podcast episode, if you have not had the opportunity to listen, I talked a little bit about burnout and the warning signs of overworking syndrome leading to burnout. So that would be a great lead in to today's podcast. And I'm going to continue on talking about burnout and overwork syndrome. But this is even more powerful for us women, and it's learning to use one of the most powerful words in vocabulary, the word no. I have this quote that I want to share with you, and Warren Buffett is, I'm a huge fan of Warren Buffett. Obviously, this man has been very successful in numerous things that he has touched, and his words are gold to me. And he says the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. And when I read that, I thought, oh my word, I've gotten so much better at being able to say no and prioritizing my time. But I don't think I say no to almost everything. And so let's dive into today's podcast and let's learn how together as women, we can learn to use the most powerful word in our vocabulary when we have big dreams and big goals. So as women, it's so hard for us to use the word no. And most of the time, what ends up happening with us is we end up overcommitted, which causes us to be frustrated. And more than anything, we lose that precious energy that's needed to put into our side hustle, our business, our career, our family, etc. And so we basically are devaluing ourselves and we're not honoring our time. And over time, resentments can build. Are you with me on this? Have you ever experienced resentments? And after you evaluate it a little bit, it really says something about us. We have created this overcommitment to things because we cannot say the word no. So I want to share with you a story that I think is pretty valuable to what I'm talking about. So I want you to imagine. And I thought of this because I love Tiffany crystal. I don't know if you own Tiffany crystal, if you've ever seen Tiffany crystal, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Some of the cuts in the vases and in the bowls are absolutely like diamonds. And when the light shines through them, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I am a person that I spoil myself with fresh flowers throughout the entire year. Why? Because it brings me joy and great energy. So I love a really, really good vase. And Tiffany happens to be one of my favorites. So I want you to imagine a crystal Tiffany vase. It's beautiful, it's elegant, it's crystal clear. It has all of those diamond cuts. And when the light shines through, it shines like a diamond. It's just absolutely classy and brilliant. This particular vase that I want you to imagine, its purpose is to add value and beauty to everyone in its presence, right? We all love beauty and we can appreciate beauty. This particular vase, its purpose is to add value and beauty to anyone and everyone in its presence. It's so radiant. And when people walk by, they notice the vase and they recognize, is this a Tiffany vase? Because they recognize its uniqueness and that it's a rare find. And it's just the wow factor. But the contents of this vase are what are so important to you. And inside this vase are these tiny spheres, so little round spheres that are full of energy. And that energy is all of that energy inside that vase is what you need to reach your dream life, is what you need to reach your goals. So I want you to imagine this vase is just packed full of little spheres full of energy for you to use to reach your dream life. Okay, so it's your energy store, and it happens to be a gorgeous Tiffany vase, and it's absolutely filled to the rim. And this is your opportunity, whatever is the energy that's in this vase, this is your opportunity to use this energy to show up in this world and make a difference. This is your dream. This is what you've been dreaming about. You know that you are here on this earth to make a difference in the lives of others. And inside this vase is that energy that you can utilize. It's for you to create that dream life. So knowing this is your Tiffany vase and all of the energy inside is what you need to reach your goal, wouldn't you handle it with great care? I know I would. I would handle it with great care, because inside of that vase is would be super protective, because it's the future of my goals. It's the future of my family. It's the future of my potential income, my dreams, my goals, my desires, my experiences with my family. Because if I don't have the contents of that vase and the vase that holds that energy, I don't have that future that I'm looking forward to. So I would be very hesitant and very protective to loan that valuable vase out. And I know you would too. Here's what I want you to understand. You, my friend, are a Tiffany vase. You're rare, you're unique, you shine. You are something that when people walk by, they go, wow, that is a rare find. That is a rare find. That's you. You're extremely valuable to this world. And inside that vase is the energy that you need to go where you want to go. Every time you say yes to tasks, events, or even favors that you know it's a no, UKNOW, know that it's a no. When you say yes, you have depleted some of your energy from the vase, therefore taking away from your future and your family's future. Let that sit with you for just a second. Because I have to be really honest, when I was thinking about my own personal energy stores, and maybe it's because I'm a Tiffany vase lover, I didn't see it as valuable as I can see it when I visualize my energy stores in a Tiffany vase. You are that valuable, my love. You are that valuable. What you have to offer this world is that important. And so today I want to teach you the value of saying no. So first of all, we have to understand why we say yes. Why do we say yes to so many things? And men, I love you if you're listening to this podcast. Women, I have to tell you, that is a very difficult word for us to use, the word no. We can easily say the word yes. And there's 3 reasons why I believe we say yes too frequently and not honoring that energy when we say yes and we do things that really are not a priority in our life. We know that we need to say no to them. It will remove some of our precious energy that were needed for the future. So the 3 reasons that we say yes. We say yes, number 1, is because we don't want the other person to feel rejected, right? If I say no, they're going to feel rejected, right? And that is honorable. What a huge heart you have. But I want you to know that the truth in this situation is you have just rejected yourself. You have rejected your goals. You have rejected your future. You have rejected your family's experiences, etc. It's that important. The second reason why women say yes too frequently is we are raised to seek affirmation, approval, and acceptance from outside sources. So we often say yes at the expense of ourselves. So let me give you a couple of examples. So I want you to remember those 3 A's. We seek affirmation, approval, and acceptance from outside sources. So here's a few examples. If I say no to this favor, someone asks you to do a favor and you're looking at your calendar and you know, KNOW, that you do not have the time on your calendar to do it. And you say yes. But if you say no to this favor, they might be mad at me, right? They might be mad at me if I say no to this favor. So you're seeking their approval over your energy stores, over your future. If I say no to this girls' trip, they might not ask me again. Acceptance. We're worried that we're not going to be accepted if we say no. Here's another one. And I have addressed this in many podcasts because it was such a hard one for me to step into my greatness. If I say no to cleaning the house, doing the dishes, folding the laundry, doing all the cooking, bathing the kids, etc., that means I'm a bad mom and a bad wife. What is that? Seeking affirmation. Affirmation from outside sources, acceptance from outside sources, approval from outside sources. So that is the reason why we have a hard time saying no. And so I want you to realize that each time you know that you should say no and you say yes, you are causing strife in your life and you're doing something out of obligation or an expectation, and maybe doing something out of guilt and not your own free will. Okay, we fear we fear if we say no that we will not be loved or accepted. That's the truth, you guys. So I want you to think about that. Who is writing your story? Are you writing your story in future? Are you allowing the acceptance, the approval, and the affirmation of others, external sources, to write your story? So here's the 3, because I kind of skipped over that third one. It's we say yes because we don't want the other person to feel rejected. We say yes because we seek approval, acceptance, and affirmation from outside sources. And then the last thing is we say yes because we do it out of expectation, obligation, or guilt instead of our own free will. So I want to encourage you, let's take our power back and let's talk about the power of the word no. So taking your power back. So number 1, if you find yourself feeling that you have no time to work on your dream, I want you to ask yourself, this is a very important question. Ask yourself, where am I saying yes that it really needs to be a no? So I don't want you to misunderstand me here. This does not mean that you're saying no to everything. It means that you say no when you know you should say. It means that you shouldn't say yes when you know, KNOW, that you should be saying no. Okay. So stop trying to be everything to everybody because you're hurting yourself. Number 2, you have to practice saying no. So in your gut, in your heart, your intuition, you really know the answer is no. You really know it. I know that there are times when you have made an appointment because someone said they could fit you in or whatever, and you look at your calendar and you're thinking, I no, K-N-O-W, I am going to have to cancel that appointment. And so instead of saying no right then, you say yes. And then later you put yourself in a bind because you have to cancel it and feel like you have to come up with an excuse, right? So practice saying the word no when you feel it in your gut, in your intuition, in your heart, that the word is, and the answer is really no. I'm going to tell you, overcommitting is it's a productivity killer. It really, really is. Trust me, I've been there. Number 3. So three things that I want you to look at to really take your power back. So number 3, here are the ways for you to say no. Okay, I think one of the hardest things for us is like we feel like we have to give this huge explanation or we have to come up with this major excuse. And I'm going to give you a few things that you can say that are clean, just clean, and there's no explanation needed to say no. Okay. Thank you for asking. That's just not going to work for me. Period. Period. Nothing else needs to be said. Thank you for asking. That's just not going to work for me. And is it truly going to work for you? Probably not if you're looking at your calendar and you see that you're overbooked. Notice I didn't say I'm sorry because I'm not sorry because I'm prioritizing my future. I also didn't give them a reason, but if they push for a reason, you can say, you know what, my schedule is just super tight right now. All right. I didn't give a reason, but sometimes people say, well, why not? Why can't you go? Why can't you come? You know what? My schedule is just really tight right now. Okay. Here's another way for you to say no. I'm honored, but I can't. Period. My schedule's really tight right now. If you feel like you have to add that one. Sounds amazing, but I'm going to have to miss this one. Unfortunately, now is not a good time. And lastly, I'm afraid I can't. I have another commitment. So you guys, I want you to really own your power, take your power back, know how precious you are and what you have to offer this world, and be really stingy with that energy that you need to take you to your dreams, your goals, and your desires. Be stingy with prioritizing your calendar with things that are of utter importance that are going to help you reach your goal, or that are that family time that you need to fill your cup, or that me time that you need to fill your cup. Okay. So a lot of times what we do is when we don't say the word no, we say yes to things. Most of the time what we will do is we will schedule over me time, or we will schedule over family time. And this is a way that you can really stay true to your calendar and stay true to who you are and that authentic self. I know that there are so many times when we continue to say yes and continue to say yes and continue to say yes to things. And then all of a sudden at the end of the week, we haven't done anything for our dream, anything for our goal. And we start getting that resentment built up in us. And you know, it's not anyone else's fault, but our own ability not to use the word no. But that resentment can really decrease the amount of energy that you can put into this world and put into the goals that you're trying to reach. So thank you so much for joining me. I want you to remember that this is not about, the word no is not being mean. It's about taking care of your time, energy, and your family. And once you learn how to say no in a good way, people really are going to respect you. And they're going to respect your willingness for that self-care and that prioritization. So this is something, you guys, that is going to take practice, but the more you do it and the more you respect your own boundaries, just like Warren Buffett said, that very successful people say no to almost everything. So God bless you. Thank you again for being a part of this amazing community in this podcast. I wouldn't be where I am today without you If this has added great value to you, it would mean the world to me if you would pass this on to your family and friends. This is a way that we can really help so many women live their best life. As always, if you're listening to Apple on this podcast, if you could go rate, review, and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And of course, give me an honest review. And I appreciate you so much. You can be a part of our private Facebook group. In that private Facebook group, it's called Deanna's Diamonds. You guys get you're the first to know when my book launches, etc., all of the future things that are coming your way. It's an amazing community of women. There's about 500 women in there right now, and we encourage each other, we praise each other, we cheer each other on. I'd love for you to be a part of that. You can go to deannaherron.net and click on the Facebook icon, and it will send you to request to join the group. God bless you. Have an amazing Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you next week.